Kala la Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Racha Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of great millstone, peace and blessings unto the elect of the nation of Israel, men, women, and children. Shalom. All right, I'm gonna jump right into it. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. And what I have here is 3 excerpts, 3 scriptures or 3 precepts, just furthermore edifying upon the point that, basically I have the heathen declaring, all right, the blessedness of Israel, and really just going to show you from the other heathen nations accounts in the scriptures of them declaring that we are a nation set apart, we are different, all right, we were given laws that were separate from all nations, and basically showing that Yahweh Shema Shai is for, all right, the Israelites, all right. Now in these latter days, we've been scattered according to the curse, all right, but we're coming back. The Lord has bestowed the spirit of life, the breath of life upon us, the Holy Spirit, of course, given by Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shema Shai, all right. We're coming back from all these different customs and heritages of the other heathen nations, all right, and putting on as the elect and declaring that Yahweh Shema Shai is our God, all right. And that's, with that being said, we're declaring that, he's not the God of the other heathen nations, and the other heathen nations are separate from us. Oh, that's the precept I was thinking about earlier. Temple, outer course to the heathen. That's what came to mind, a precept. Let me see, bear with me. Yeah, but with that being said, all right, the kingdom of heaven will have 12 gates, all right, with the names of the tribes of the nation of Israel. The kingdom of heaven is going to be for the people of the nation of Israel, the elect remnant, of course, starting with the elect remnant. Yahweh Shai is going to deliver them. They're going to have first dibs, all right, at the kingdom of heaven, new life, new covenant, new bodies, all right. They will first partake in the glory with Yahweh Shai, but ultimately the whole nation, all right. Let me grab Revelation. Let me see. It's the precept I was talking about at camp. Revelation 11:4. All right, the olive trees, the olive branches, speaking about the nation of Israel. Let me see. Bear with me. That's all right. We'll hold off. Let's go to this is Esther, what I had initially. Chapter 13 and verse 3. All right, it says, "Now when I asked my counselors how this might be brought to pass, Haman, that excelled in wisdom among us, and was approved for his constant goodwill and steadfast fidelity, and had the honor of second place in the kingdom." Right, so this is a letter or epistle, all right, from Artaxerxes, the king of Elam, all right, if I'm not mistaken. We referenced the movie 300, but that's, of course, Elam ruling, all right. Elam being the so-called Indians, the East Indians, the people that have these stores, all right, that sell the incense, people that fling dung on each other, all right. This was the time of their rulership, of them being an authority. And Haman would be a so-called Edomite, all right, which had got in rank up in his kingdom, and he was a renowned man, all right, before the Lord lifted him up and brought him down in the sight of the kingdom of Elam, all right, the Medo-Persian Empire, all right, to say the least. This is this of Esther chapter 13 and verse 4. It says, "Declared unto us that in all the nations throughout the whole world there were scattered a certain malicious people." So this is the Edomite Haman, all right, declaring unto us our history and heritage and who we are, all right, and information about us to the king Artaxerxes, all right. This is a letter to the king, all right. This of Esther chapter 13 and verse 4, it says, "Declared unto us that in all nations, so among all people, throughout the world, there was scatter a certain malicious people. All right. So what is he doing? He's blaming. He's throwing names upon us already. In the letter it says they had laws contrary to all nations. Whoa, the laws, statutes, and commandments, in which is a big, controversy right now amongst our people, the world of Israel and the heathen that are now fighting against us. All right, or fighting against the truth. Yahweh Shema Shah, the truth, which is us, the Israelites. It says, contrary to all nations, and continually despise the commandment of kings, so as the uniting of our kingdoms honorably intended by us cannot go forward. Right, I'm thinking of an account in the book of Daniel, in which, when they were first coming to captivity under Nebuchadnezzar, if I'm not mistaken, they refused to eat the king's meat. All right, why? Because they were still cleaving on to the dietary law, all right, eating cleaner. They were cleaving onto our heritage, and the heathen, all right, allowed us to, stick forth to our ways. Is now in the latter times of the Esau Edom, through Hellenization and things, that we've gotten away and assimilated unto their ways and become Gentiles, all right? But the heathen always knew we were different, as we're reading here, all right? They knew we had a different way, a different upkeep, different way in which we lived our life, certain things that we not partake in that were contrary to all other people, all right? This is edition of Esther chapter 13. So, right, these are precepts going to show that salvation is not for everybody, and even the heathen know, all right? It's accounts and testaments which we're reading that the heathen are declaring our difference. This is from the horse's mouth, the other nations, all right? Tobit, Salakia, this is Esther 13 in verse 5. Seeing then we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all men, differing in the strange manner of their laws and evil affected to our state, working all the mischief they can, that our kingdom may not be firmly established. Therefore have we commanded that all they that are signified in writing unto you by Haman, who is ordained over the affairs and is next unto us, shall all of their wives and children be utterly destroyed by the sword of their enemies, without all mercy and pity, the 14th day of the 12th month, Adar of this present year. That they who of old and now also are malicious may in one day with violence go into the grave, and so ever hereafter cause our affairs to be well settled and without trouble. And what comes to mind, Psalms 83. Nations have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee and thy people. And this is one small account of, the Edomite Haman. He got his rank up amongst the heathen. And what did he try to do? He immediately went against his brother Jacob, all right, Haman, all right. Esau Edom is showing, he's against us once again, all right, under a different rulership of the heathen, all right. He's still worried about us, all right, evil affected and ill will towards us because he's our arch nemesis, alongside the other nations, all right. But what did he do? He desired to kill us off as a people, in which you read in the book of Esther. That's not what happened, all right. The Lord, he showed mercy and favor toward us and slew all Haman and his household, all right, upon the gallows. But just going to show you, that's one account. Let's continue reading, then we'll go to the next precept. This is edition of Esther, chapter 13 and verse 7 in the Apocrypha. It says that they who of old and now also are malicious may in one day with violence go into the grave, and so ever hereafter cause our affairs to be well settled and without trouble. Then Mordecai thought upon all the works of the Lord and made his prayer unto him, saying, O Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah, Lord, the King Almighty, for the whole world is in thy power, and if thou hast appointed to save Israel, there is no man that can gainsay thee, for thou hast made heaven and earth and all the wondrous things of the heaven. So, right, Mordecai immediately, all right, went to prayer, all right, and asking for help for our nation. And he's appointed to save Israel. And that still stands same here in the latter days. And that's what we're echoing, declaring in this, wicked kingdom, all right, of the Edomites. All right, another precept that came to mind the Wadi Habashma Shabashim Rahak Wadash, as I was reading this precept, was what was it? I had it on I was thinking about it as I was reading it. All right. Not Daniel. I spoke about Daniel. Man, it'll come back. It'll come back, Lord willing. All right. But let's go to Judith. Man. What's that precept? Salakia. Oh, man. Let's continue reading. It'll come back. This is Judah chapter 5, in verse 8. It says, "For they left the way of their ancestors." Matter of fact, let me start up. Judah chapter 5. And this is another account of a heathen, all right, desiring to conquer us in our land, asking information about us, all right. This is Judah chapter 5 and verse 3, and he said unto them, "Tell me now, ye sons of Canaan, who this people is that dwelleth in the hill country, and what are the cities that they inhabit, and what is the multitude of their army, and wherein is their power and strength, and what king is set over them, or captain of their army?" Judah chapter 5 and verse 8. It said, "For they left the way of their ancestors and worshiped the God of heaven, the God whom they knew, so they cast them out from the face of their gods, and they fled into Mesopotamia and sojourned there many days. Then their God commanded them to depart from the place where they sojourned, to go into the land of Canaan, where they dwelt and were increased with gold and silver and with very much cattle. But when a famine covered all the land of Canaan, they went down into Egypt and sojourned there, while they were nourished, and there became a great multitude, so that one cannot number their nation." Speaking about our people going into Egypt. Jacob sojourned, Israel sojourned in Egypt. Psalms 105, Psalms 106, Psalms 104, I believe. One of those Psalms, scriptures go into depth about that. All right. This is a heathen giving a rundown, inquiring, and another heathen giving a rundown of our heritage, history, and who we are. Going to show you that they know we're different. All right. This is Judah chapter 5 in verse 10. It says, "But when a famine covered all the land of Egypt," when a famine covered all the land of Canaan, they went down into Egypt, sojourned there, where they were nourished, and became there a great multitude, so that one cannot number their nation. Therefore the king of Egypt rose up against them, and dealt subtly with them, and brought them low with laboring and brick, and made them slaves. Then they cried unto their God, and he smote all the land of Egypt with incurable plagues, so that the Egyptians cast them out of their sight. And the Most High dried the Red Sea before them, and brought them to Mount Sinai, and Kadesh Barnea, and cast forth all that dwelt in the wilderness. So they dwelt in the land of the Amorites, and they destroyed by their strength all them of Esabon, and passing over Jordan, they possessed all the hill country. And they cast forth before them the Canaanite. These are all heathen nations: the Pharisite, the Jebusite, the Sycamite, and all the Girgasites. And they dwelt in the country many days. And I believe those are all Hamitic tribes. It's being a point. Judah 5 and 18. "And while they sinned not before their God," sin is transgression of the law. All right, the law says commandments. That's why we find ourselves here in America scattered. All right, because we went away from the covenant, the way of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which was given unto us by Moses, the law, that is. All right, the book of Galatians. All right, but we went away from our heritage, to say none the least, and we sinned. All right, what is Scripture saying? Judah chapter 5 and 17, "While they sinned not before their God, Yahweh Shemashah, they prospered, because the God that hateth iniquity was with them. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them," all right, as Haman declared, "their laws and ways are separate from all people. They were destroyed in many battles, very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs, and the temple of their God was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. But now they return to their God, and they are come up from the places where they are scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them, right? But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, Yahweh Shemashai, and their God before them, and we become a reproach before all the world. This is what the world is about to experience. All right? We're repenting. The blood of Yahweh Shai is going to cover the elect. Yahweh Shemashai is going to stand up and fight for his people, and the world is going to be confounded. All right? Before the nations are going to be confounded before the world, in particular Esau, Edom. All right? Because the elect is going to be blameless through Yahweh Shai. All right? So Holofernes found out, all right, he got proud against Yahweh Shemashai and the Israelites and tried to make war, and the Lord made an example out of him. You can further continue reading the book of Judah. All right, but it was a precept I was thinking about, fire one. All right, it's like it's not coming to mind, but it's all right. Let's go to Numbers 23. Let's keep it on track. Numbers 23 and verse 3. All right, and this is an account of Moab. All right, a Moabite king desiring to curse our nation. All right, through sorcery. All right. All right, this is Numbers 23 and 3. It says, and Balaam said unto Balak, stand by thy burnt offering, and I will go. Peradventure the Lord will come to meet me, and whatsoever he sheweth me, I will tell thee, and went to an high place. And the Most High met Balaam, and said unto him, I prepared 7 altars, and I have offered upon every altar a bullock and a ram. So more than likely an angel was sent to meet Balaam. All right. It says, and the Lord put a word in Balaam's mouth and said, return unto Balak, thus thou shalt speak. And he returned unto him, and lo, he stood by his burnt offering. So he had sacrifices ready. All right. It says he and all the princes of Moab, and he took up his parable and said, Balak, the king of Moab, have brought me from Aram out of the mountains of the east, saying, come, curse me, Jacob, and defy Israel. So this is a heathen desiring to see us with curses on us. So-called Chinaman still has that same spirit. You walk in his store, he's looking you up and down, mugging you. He has a look of disgust on his face, whatever tribe he may be from. More particularly Judah, because that's the head tribe, which representation for all of us. All right. As Yahweh Shai, the Messiah from the tribe of Judah. But right, Moab still, I'm thinking of, Moab has a real, scripture say Moab is a proud man. All right. He's going to lose also, all the heathen are. All right. But this is an account of a Moabite desiring to curse us. All right. Nonetheless, Numbers 23 and verse, let me see, 8, it says, how shall I curse whom the Most High have not cursed? Or how shall I defy whom the Lord have not defied? For from the tops of the rocks I see him, and from the hills I behold him. Lo, the people shall dwell alone, and shall not be reckoned among the nations, the Israelites. All right, we're not going to be recognized amongst the nations. We're going to be separate. All right, wholly peculiar, especially in the kingdom when these prophecies come to pass. All right, but now more so we're a spectacle. All right, we're despised, and we're separate. All right, go out on the highways and byways, rehearse the righteous acts. All right, we're separate now. All right, but we're not going to be reckoned amongst the nations. We're going to be separate from all the nations. It's going to be a clear, distinct separation in the kingdom of heaven. All right. Nonetheless, this is Numbers 23 and 10. Who can count the dust of Jacob and number the fourth part of Israel? Let me die the death of the righteous, and let my last end be like his. All right. So this is a heathen once again declaring from his mouth that the nation of Israel is blessed, not like the other nations. He's saying he wished that he can be an Israelite. All right. He's desiring, all right, to die the death of the righteous. Why? Because the Lord showed him visions, all right, of how blessed Israel is going to be, all right. Prophecy. His eyes were open. It was in a trance, visions, all right. This is the Lord gave him insight about his counsel and his will, right? As we just read, Yahweh Shema Shah is, power over everything in the earth, even the heathen. The Lord gave them gods to serve, false idols, but He's still in charge. He's in power and charge over them, has dominion over them, and can do what He wants. Open up their eyes, close them, as He can with us. So this is the power we serve, and it's fearful, all right? And He does what He wants, all right? But that's why He tells us to be obedient and fear Him, all right? But it's a heathen declaring out of his mouth how blessed Jacob is and how he desires to be like them, all right? So they will not partake in the new covenant and the gifts and the goodly things that are promised to us as a nation, all right? This is Numbers 23 and verse 11. And Balak said unto Balaam, what hast thou done unto me? I took thee to curse my enemies, and behold, thou hast blessed them altogether. And he answered and said, must I not take heed to speak that which the Lord hath put in my mouth? And Balak said unto him, come, I pray thee, with me unto another place from whence thou mayest see them, that thou see but the uttermost part of them, and shall not see them at all, and curse me them from thence. All right, so, that was the lesson. Lord, we know it's edifying, comforting. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Al-Shai, Ba'ashem Rachak Wadash. Peace and blessings unto the elect. Shalom.